Hello, this is Felicia Moore, your host for Realty Resources and Realities. It's March, and it's time to get those critical deadlines out of the way. Let's find out what we need to be doing now to get ready for spring. Hello, Felicia Moore here, your host for Realty Resources and Reality. And as I always ask you, because we're going to be bringing great information, we need to share this. So please share this video. Also, would you please hit that thumbs up, that like button? And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. That way other people will hear about what we're doing over here and we can get this out in the algorithm. So please like, share, and subscribe. That's the way to support. And also, I'd love to come to talk with you individually or in small groups or in large groups. We at Realty Resources and Reality are a show and a product of Exit Realty West Midtown. We want to be a resource for the community. And so we are here to answer any of your real estate questions, any of your real estate needs. Just reach out to us. We want to be helpful to you in the community. Now, this show and the next show in March is to get us prepared for the spring. There are always things that we need to be doing. There's always maintenance that we have to do. Now, one of the things I've been talking about since this show started last year and the year before that, I think, is that we need to make sure that our properties are safe. Now, there are companies out there that say that you can register with them and pay them money. These are things you can do on your own to protect your property from deed theft. It is still out here. It's still rampant. There have been some good things done at the state legislature where they have asked for people to provide a driver's license, but or some identification that can be fake. And they're doing it in so many different ways. I'm not sure that that's going to catch all of them. It's helpful, but it's not. But one of the biggest, most helpful things that we can have is the fact that we can register our properties. Now, I recommend to everyone to register your property with the county that you're in. And so I put Fulton counties down there. They have a website through the Fulton County Clerk's Office. It's called REAACT, where you can register your property. So anytime someone records something on your property, it could be someone trying to steal your property. It could be someone who's done some work on your home that has a dispute and decides to put a lien on your property. It could be anything. They will alert you, and you tell them how you want to get those alerts, because if someone steals your deed, the problem is it will take you forever to get it back if you don't act on it in a timely manner. Then also I ask you to register with the state. I registered with the state. I registered my name. I registered my address. I registered my property. I get alerts. Sometimes it's someone else, but that's fine because I wanted to make sure if somebody was doing something in another city or county that I wasn't in, but it had to do with me. I had some idea. So please make sure you use these resources. And then the other thing, the number one thing that you need to do is make sure or check and see if you have any what I would call exemptions that you have not applied for, because April 1st is the deadline for you to sign up for these exemptions. Um, I want to make sure you know they're senior exemptions, they're basic ones where you have to be 65 or older. There are other more specific ones if you make a certain income. But I'm telling you, in these crazy days and times, you want to keep your property tax bill as low as possible. You want to make sure that you have registered for and will receive with this year's tax bill every exemption that you can get to lower your taxable value on your property. So please make sure you do those two things: is register your property with the state and the county that you live in. You can Google your county if you're not in Fulton, and make sure you check their list. You can go online and see what exemptions are available and if you have registered for all of them. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, and that's at askfelicia@exitwestmidtown.com. You can send me an email or you can text Ask Felicia to 85377. Same way you can do to tell me show ideas that you may have. Same place you can reach out to me. If you just have a question that you'd like to answer, we're here for a resource and would love to help you. So let's get into these top 10 things. We're going to take 5 of them on today, and then we'll take the other 5 on at the next show. Realty Resources and Reality, it is broadcast the first and third Thursdays of every month at 1 o'clock p.m. And you can always watch the replays as well. So in our next show, which will be on the third Thursday of this month, we will pick up where we left off today. So number 1 is inspect roofs and gutters. You know, I've talked about this. A lot of times people, you just drive up in your driveway or to the front of your house, you go in and you don't ever check. Get out when the weather gets warm and pleasing and sunny so that you can see and walk around your house and inspect the roof and the gutters. You might have to stand back from the house a ways just to see the roof. Make sure there's no shingles that are missing or anything that looks funny. You want to make sure that you have no leaks on the inside that you can see, and you want to make sure there's no wood rot on the outside, and you want to make sure you get those gutters cleaned out. Now, I've got to find somebody else to clean out my gutters. The gentleman who did it for me on a regular basis before has now retired, but that is just so important because when that rain comes, and it's coming in the spring, you don't want your gutters overflowing and causing an issue with erosion. Excuse me. Service your HVAC. I always have mine serviced twice a year. Right when it's time for it to get warm, where I may want to turn on the air conditioning, and right around the time of the year when it's about to get cold and you might want to turn on the heat. Now's the time to make sure that our ACs are going to be running efficiently, okay? We want them to run efficiently because, again, everybody, we should be really thinking about how do we manage the cost of living in our home. We want efficiency. We want we want a tune-up schedule. So there's many companies out there that do it. If you're not already on a maintenance plan with whoever you bought your HVAC with, just call around, find someone, and get them in there so that it can replace the air filters and make sure it's running effective and efficiently, most and foremost. The third thing we want to do is check for infestations, because in the winter, you know, mice and rats and all kind of creatures are looking for a warm place just like you, and sometimes they find that warm place in your home. So we want to check for infestations. If you are already on a termite bond or warranty with someone, you want to make sure that they're coming out and checking your termite traps. I have a company, they're very good, Arrow Exterminator. I love them. They call me, make sure I know when it's time to come out. They come out and they do their job. You may want to get that to get done, which is a great thing. Or you may want to check yourself. And that is important even if you have a pest control company. You want to look for signs of rodents. You want to see, did somebody burrow a hole under my house or in my crawl space on the outside? You want to know what that is and you want to get on top of it. And then you want to make sure you seal any cracks because we don't want a bunch of ants, So you may have a brick home, you may have wood home. Just make sure that it's sealed off and there are no cracks so that bugs can find their way into the home. And you also want to make sure that there is a um, moisture control barrier that the water is running properly off of from the side of the house and there's no puddling or anything like that. You may need to get that checked if you find it. So number four is inspect and seal windows and doors. And you're saying seal the windows and the doors, isn't that something we do in winter? Well, in the winter we want to keep the cold air from getting in, and in the summer we want to keep the cool air in and not let that get out. So please make sure that you check for these things, for cracks, for drafts, for loose seals that need to be repaired. Just make a list and get to it. You want to keep that AC energy efficient. You want to make sure when you check around your unit, it's not a bunch of leaves and other things that could impact the flow. Most times when you call for your HVAC inspection, they'll clear them off for you, but you can do that too yourself. You want to keep those allergens and pollutants out. That's why you want to make sure these seals are in the windows and doors too, because we have a heavy pollen season. And if you have allergies, that is coming in your house. You may even still have pollen, like I do, on your screens from last year. You need to get those things cleaned out. You want to have a good, healthy breathing environment. In those days that you might want to open the window after pollen season, of course, you want to make sure you're getting in fresh air and not breathing in a bunch of pollen from outside. And the number 5 thing that we want to do is to prepare our lawn and garden. We want to start our pruning of our shrubs around our house. We want to aerate our lawn and fertilize it because we want that grass to grow green and pretty. And we want to start the planting of our early spring flowers and vegetables. This year, I am going back to some of the things that I used to see, which was my grandmother. She had a beautiful yard. She always had a lot of flowers. I don't think I'm going to do all that. But she also had a garden. And I'm going to start gardening. I'm going to use that as a new hobby for me to relax, release, and to have some fun, as well as produce some things that I can do in the house. Maybe one day I'll do a show about how I started out my garden. We'll see how it goes. But if you are doing the same, whether it's flowers or vegetables, you need to start looking at your schedules and get ready for that. And you want to clean up those old winter leaves, whether they're on the roof, in the gutters, on your porches, your patios, in your yard. You want to start getting those up. And the other thing that I'm starting to do, because I'm going to start gardening, I'm going to start composting. So a lot of those leaves, instead of trying to haul them out to the street and do all of that, I've got a chipper. I'm going to chip them up. I'm going to follow other things that need to go in a compost pile, and I'm going to see if I can make me some good quality compost so that I can have some good fertilized soil for my gardening. But maybe we'll talk about some of those topics before, but those are the top ones. Again, I want you to register your property. And I want you to get on it because April 1st is the deadline. You can't do it after that. And that is making sure that you have filed for all your homestead exemptions. I know that I looked at the list. Next year, I'm going to have to file for that basic senior exemption. I want all of the exemptions I can so that I can keep my property tax lower in this economy. So please make sure you do that. So this is a part 1. Part 2 we will pick up and on the third Thursday at 1:00 p.m. Again, please like, share, subscribe, and help us to get this information out to everyone. And I will be back to see you on the third Thursday at 1 p.m. This is another episode of Realty, Resources, and Reality. See you again.